2, 3. All right, what's happening, everybody? Welcome back. It's yours truly, Pokey Breezy, coming at you with a brand new video. It's not the newest idea, but we got another tier list. This time we're going to be ranking each color combination, like Drake says. However, before I get into it, do like, subscribe, and all that fun stuff. Comment below which deck are you playing and why you think it's good. I would love to get in some conversations about which decks are performing well for you, which decks aren't working for you, what kind of styles that you enjoy more. So I do want a conversation. So if you want to do that, get some likes, get some comments, get some likes, all that fun stuff. I mean, if you do want to have a share with a friend, do share it. Talk about it. Be like, oh, this guy's so wrong. This guy's so right. I will say this though: if you think I'm wrong, you're wrong. Just putting it out there. But let's get started. At tier 1, again, not a shocker here, I don't believe. We're going to have the Ruby Amethyst duo here. One of the best combinations in the game, one of the best colored combinations you can find. Very strong. It offers everything from removal, draw power, which two really premium resources you have in this game are those two things, where draw power is being offered non-stop with your Amethyst, with friends on the other side. We got Maleficent that draws you a card. We got Ursula that draws you a card. We got a bunch of options here that provide that extra draw alongside with the Mirror and Cauldron to kind of filter your deck. So you get what you want fast. The only weakness is it will die to turn 6 if you get aggroed out of the game. However, other than that, once you get into the deep ends, you're not losing against this deck right here. You just can't. This deck will offer so much, and the mirror matches will go on forever. So this deck competes at a highest level right now as the game is brand new, but very strong. I think it will stay like this for a while, unless set 2 comes out with some incredible stuff that really makes it power crept out of the game, but I don't see it coming because the cards in this deck is just so strong at this point. Moving forward, Amber Steel, another tier 1 deck, just constantly topping, constantly doing great, constantly seeing numbers, constantly in that high end stuff. It's just strong. It will offer so much. It does a little bit of everything. You can aggro out of the game with Lilo, Simba Bodyguard. You can go to deep ends with your Rockstar Stitches, your big bodyguards if you play that. You got other options that will provide that for you alongside this. You got removal with Grab Your Sword. You got removal with Tinkerbell. We got so many things that this deck offers that utilizes the good, strong abilities in the game, like Bodyguard, like removal, like draw power with Whole New World. You do a little bit of everything, and that's why this deck is so consistent right now. It's just such a good Swiss Army knife. It does everything, and that's why I love this deck a little bit more than the other one that I just discussed. But I do think I am a little biased because I do like Steela more. But these two, if you want to pick up this game, if you want to play competitive, you're picking up these two at this point of the game. If you really want to just consistently do well, because these two decks will just kind of get you there as much as possible. So those are the tier 1 decks at the moment. I do think that's it in the sense of what's the best decks that are going to always see the top 4, that is always going to be a winner of at this point. You're going to see it if you're on the winning tables. You're going to play against one of these two eventually. And that's kind of what's happening. Although there's a lot of versatility in the meta, in the game right now, these two are just the consistent common denominators in the top of the food chain. And I think that's why they deserve to be on their own spot. Moving forward, tier 1.5 is that it's not just there yet, but this is where I thrive. This is where my bread and butter is. This is where I'm playing my decks from. This is where I bring the fun. So this is where my personal favorite decks are coming from. Is that tier 1.5? You see consistent toppings, but it's just not there yet. It won't win against those games in most of the time, but it will steal you those games sometimes due to better piloting, better abilities, better draw, just a little bit of everything. But I don't think in the long term the tier 1 is just significantly better. No, but it is better. So at tier 1.5, we have one of my favorite decks in the game right now, which is Amethyst Emerald. This deck is just so fun, so easy, and it just offers everything you want right out of the gate. It's simple. If you have a new player and you have this deck, give it to them to teach them. It will teach them the basics and how to win in a very, very good way. And it's so consistent. The goal: play cards every turn, kind of pressure, kind of race, do a little bit of everything to win there in that turn 8 range. I love it. It's one of my favorites. Cusco is incredibly strong. One of the best cards in the game, and this deck makes it really, really shine. So, again, it's not as good as the other ones. It will lose to high removal decks a lot, like those two above it. But other than that, I do think we are in that category. It was this deck will top. I just topped it this weekend with it. Went kind of nice. I do believe it was really good. Again, and I lost. My only loss came from truly was the Amber Steel that just out removaled me. 3 grab your swords is a big problem. Read prepared is a big problem. So, uh, yeah, that's why I don't think the deck is that is as the high level, but it's there. I highly recommend it. And then kind of moving forward, a little gonna go faster. Steel Sapphire, Tinkerbell Bell is my first deck I played it. It tops events still to this day. People are playing around with some good ideas. Offers ramp and removal, which are two things that are really good, but it loses to be prepared. It loses to the amber. There are big bodies that removal like Tinkerbell that just doesn't offer, so that's why it kind of struggles. That's kind of where that is, and then my last one is the Amber Amethyst, where we are offering aggro control draw power type of situation. Very aggressive, very strong. I do think it's going to offer a lot here. But those 5 are kind of the consistent toppers. I do think if you're playing anything else, the only other one that I do believe is that 1.5 is that Emerald Steel, the mill and the control variant. Both of them are really strong, but I personally enjoy that control variant more. It offers so much. With Tinkerbell, a whole new world. With Cusco, with a lot, you can just do a lot and win through it. Hans is a really strong card. It's just a bunch of very controlly, heavy push, big bodies on the board. Can't quest. It's just very strong and offers a lot. Mother Gothel is one of those cards that I just don't think we're speaking a lot about, just due to how much removal there is in the high end of things. But it is really, really game breakingly strong at times. And then the rest, what we got here are the rogues and the tier 2s. The rogues are the decks that are topping, just purely because it's a little unique. It's consistent, but it just won't do well in every single event you go to, right? You're gonna have those 2 days. You're gonna have those X3 days. It's just one of those decks that are gonna either perform really well that day or just won't. The first one is the deck that really got a lot of attention early on, just because evasive was a big thing, and a lot of decks just wasn't at the level of removal that we have at this point, which is why it's at rogue now. If I made this in the beginning of the game release, I would have it a little bit higher, but just with more removal being that strong, I just doesn't do that great. Again, evasives are really mean. It has removal, which is why it's a rogue deck. I do think it will lose to some decks a lot easier. Those evasives are really strong. Cusco is always good to have. Emerald is just really strong, but with the evasive and other removal that red ruby offers, it does do well. So that's what we got there. And then what the other ones are going to be Emerald, Sapphire, and Sapphire Amber. These two are the similar tempo decks that I do see being used. They are very good. However, it just doesn't do a specific thing well. It will win you games, but I do think it gets outperformed quite easily, and that's this category. And then the other rogue deck that I do see a lot of potential with set 2 is Amber Emerald. It has everything you want. It will do a little bit of everything, and it just provides so much aggro, but aggro isn't good right now because of the way meta is. You have those control decks in the high ends that because that reason, and it has a lot of potential with the hand rips and such that are coming in the near future. So be in the lookout for that, for those decks to do well very, very, very soon. I do think it might be in the 1.5 category, but it's just isn't there just yet. I think with the new cards, we're gonna see it rise very, 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 very fast. And then we got our tier twos here, just decks that are just isn't there yet. At Amber Ruby, Amethyst Sapphire, Sapphire Ruby, Sapphire Steel, and Sapphire Amethyst being here. These decks just don't do that well. Unfortunately, won't be able to offer much of it just because you don't see a lot of it being played, and when you do, it's just unfortunately there's not a lot of big synergies going on. I do like Steel a Ruby. That is a great removal heavy deck that I do think there's potential in, but just not at this point. And Amethyst Sapphire is great, but they're both very good at supporting a different color. Uh, it just kind of does that a little bit, and it causes the deck to not be good. Other than my personal favorite, which is the Tamatoa item deck, that's going to be really, really, really fun to play in a couple weeks when the new set comes out with the new items that we're going to be seeing. But yeah, that's kind of the list. I did want to make it short. I do want to kind of shout out the higher end ones in a little bit more detail because those are the decks I do recommend playing if you want to play and win. If you don't, obviously do whatever you like. But yeah, that's the whole video. There's nothing else to discuss because this is 100% accurate tier list. And if you do disagree, do let me know in the comment section. And also let me know what you want to see next. Other than that, I hope y'all have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful rest of your night, whatever you're watching it. I just hope you have a good one. Peace.